Now we move on to my second favorite Tony Martin era Black Sabbath album, another one of my absolute favorites, the Headless Cross. It came out in 1989, almost at the end of metal as we know it, and the artwork is fucking phenomenal. One of my absolute favorite Black Sabbath artworks, and a lot of people recognize this one a lot more than a lot of their other underrated albums because of this artwork and because of the underground praise this one seems to get. Yeah, that's right, this one actually has a huge cult following, and from what I've seen from albums that are extremely underrated that get sudden tons of praise, I predict this one, and I'll try to help this album achieve this, is it'll get tons of praise just like that overrated Born Again gets. Bob Daisley left the band, so there's not great lyrics from him. However, Tony Martin, I believe, begins to write lyrics during this era. And a lot of the lyrics revolve around like satanic stuff and dark stuff that they used to talk about back in the day. So almost every song mentions like the Dark Lord or something like that, but it's not done in like a cheesy, let's be extremely evil sort of manner. They're just carrying on with the same style they did with the last album, but having lyrics return to what they used to do. And Tony Iommi actually wanted to kick Tony Martin out of the band and get Ronnie James Dio back. However, he also had Cozy Powell as his drummer during this time, who was in Rainbow and on the album Rainbow Rising, who had played with Dio. And he didn't want to get Dio because they were having like a feud, the both of them. And he thought Tony Martin sounded great and they should just keep him, so that's what they did. And Cozy Powell gives an incredible performance on this album. His drumming is very great and it reminds me so much of his awesome work on Rainbow Rising. I'm so glad he performed on this album. It sucks that he's dead. And Iommi also wanted to get Geezer Butler in the band because, like I said, he was trying to get more known people. That's why I got Cozy Powell, and he was trying to get Dio back. He also was gonna get Geezer, but couldn't again. I think that's because he actually instead joined Ozzy's band because they offered him more money or something. And yeah, Ozzy's band, especially during this time, was a lot more famous and a lot more rich and stuff than Black Sabbath during this time. Black Sabbath were slowly declining while Ozzy was slowly rising up to bigger and bigger fame. And a sort of unknown session musician, Lawrence Cottle, joined in to play bass instead. And another funny thing about the studio performances of this album is that they get Brian May from Queen, who's an awesome guitarist, to join in and play the guitar solo on When Death Calls. And there's a couple other funny correlations between this album and what Ozzy was doing on his album No Rest for the Wicked. The song called The Wild was originally supposed to be called Hero, but Ozzy's album was released first, and he had a song in there called Hero. No Rest for the Wicked also had a song called Devil's Daughter, and the song on this album, Devil and Daughter, was supposed to be called Devil's Daughter. And there's a theory that Bob Daisley, who left the band after the Eternal Idol and joined back with Ozzy to play on No Rest for the Wicked, maybe stole some song title ideas. And another interesting thing about the studio recordings of this album is that Tony Martin, when he was singing the last song on this album, Nightwing, did an incredible first take. Absolutely flawless. And then Cozy Powell said, that's good, alright, let's go. And then Tony Martin wanted to do it again, but Cozy wouldn't let him. They kept arguing. He did it again, and it was not as good as the first take. What you hear on the album is the first take he ever did of the song, and his vocal performance on there is incredible. Now let's get to the amazing songs in this album. First we start with this extremely fucking pointless little instrumental thing, The Gates of Hell, which goes into the title track. But it reminds me of that really pointless thing, Sphinx the Guardian on the 7th Star, that goes into the song The 7th Star. It's literally just 10 seconds of ambient keyboards that build up to the song. It's fucking totally pointless. So I give it like low marks, like a 3 out of 5 or something. It's quick and to the point, I guess, and it does sound pretty evil and cool, but it's utterly pointless. They should have just tacked it onto the song. Then we have the Headless Cross, which is an awesome fucking classic song. And this one even had a really awesome music video to it too. And it's always kick-ass to hear Cozy Powell do that cool slow drum intro to the song. There's a ton of cool, really awesome riffs before the song gets into it, and it reminds me a lot of the prelude. You have the drum part, then you have this cool epic riff, and then this transition thing, then the song's main riff, and then it goes into that slow groove that is the verse of the song, and it reminds me a lot of the structure of the song Heaven and Hell. There's a ton of awesome synthesizer and keyboard work from Jeff Nichols during the verse, and Tony Martin's vocals are on fire, especially when he yells, the heel of the Headless Cross. The lyrics are badass too, and his shrill screams at the end of the verses that go right into the bridges are incredible. And his vocal work is so damn melodic in the bridge of the song. And pretty much everyone in the band goes absolutely apeshit during the chorus where they say the Headless Cross. You hear Jeff Nichols and Tony Martin form this awesome harmony together with their voices. They're extremely high-pitched and shrill and incredible. And you hear Cozy Powell go absolutely fucking bonkers on drums. And then when Tony Martin says the Headless Cross the second time, it reminds me a lot of Dio singing. And then the middle section's awesome. You have this incredibly dark and epic build-up with Jeff Nichols' keyboards and awesome guitar riffs from Iommi. And then you hear this awesome drawn-out synthesizer note, and the guitar solo is fucking awesome. This song is perfect. 5 out of 5. One of the best off the album. However, I think the next song might be my absolute favorite song from the album, and one of my absolute favorite Black Sabbath songs, Devil and Daughter. This song, just like the last one, has a lot of cool, almost prelude-y build-up riffs before it gets into it. And Jeff Nichols, just throughout this entire album, is extremely prevalent in these awesome ambient keyboard work that he gives. And then right when it kicks in that main verse riff, it's fucking awesome. The riff is extremely driving and heavy as hell and badass. But my favorite thing is not only the grooving, awesome riff, but Tony Martin's incredible singing and the lyrics. And I love the way he says that they're both on their way. But the second part of the verse is really awesome. I think that's always the shining moment of the song in either of the verse, like the second half of it. The way he sings on both parts of those are absolutely fucking stunning. The chorus is badass. They have those awesome dark ambient build-up to the guitar and keyboard. And the chorus is really cool. It's a bit cheesy, but it's still fucking just so catchy to me. And the guitar solo and keyboard work in the middle section is fucking perfect too. 5 out of 5. My favorite Black Sabbath song from this era. Then we have another amazing song, When Death Calls. This is the song where Brian May plays on. At first they have like a weird cheesy intro. You think they're gonna have some sort of song like No Stranger to Love. And Tony Martin's singing's good, but it does sound a bit cheesy during this section. However, when he lets out that shrill scream that goes into the chorus of When Death Calls, it's fucking awesome. And every lyric he sings in that chorus is sung with so much passion. And then the second verse is a lot better. It's a lot more well written. There's a lot more melodic guitar, and it's just overall a lot more badass. And you know the intentions of the song this time. You know it's not going to be a love ballad. You know this song's fucking awesome and it means business. And then the middle section's really long too. It's very cool. And this entire song, and a lot of the songs in this album, are extremely long. And then of course the awesome guitar solo from Brian May that suits the song so well that sometimes I think it's Iommi. And it's well written and well done as well. It sounds so great and just melodic and badass in every single way. Also a 5 out of 5. Then we have a song that a lot of people do not like, Kill in the Spirit World. This song I really like, however. I think the beginning sounds very cheesy, like a very cheesy hairband 80s song. However, I love the fucking way Tony Martin sings on it, where it's like, you know, you get like a hairband that just does a song generic and it has that, you know, catchy, melodic sort of sound to it or whatever. It's like if they're gonna do something similar to that, they're gonna do it right. They're gonna have an awesome motherfucking riff that sounds badass as hell and well written. And they're gonna have incredible singing that has a ton of talent to it and a lot of great lyrics. But then it makes up for that because it keeps building up to this chorus. The song keeps getting darker and darker and darker. And for the chorus where they say there's a kill in the spirit world, it makes me think of like the sounds of hell because it just sounds so fucking dark, like you're falling down. And this song's about when you like kill someone in either hell or heaven. It's sort of interesting. And the guitar work, of course, in the middle is incredible as well. And every single part of it's very, very good. However, I do think it is a bit cheesy in areas, and I do think it's a lot better than a lot of people give it credit for. So I'm going to give this song a 4.5 out of 5. Then we have Call of the Wild, which is, in my opinion, of the original songs on this album, probably the weakest one. However, it's still very, very good. The verse is pretty cool and has a nice riff to it, although it is a bit cheesy. However, my favorite part of Call of the Wild is the awesome chorus and the build-up to it. It has a lot of great, weird Egyptian-sounding Phrygian notes to it, and it has an incredible flowing sound. And I absolutely love the way Tony Martin drags out that note for the chorus, the Call of the Wild. However, overall, it's not that great. It feels a bit half-baked, so I do think this is maybe like the filler song of the album, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Now we get to another one of my favorites. This was actually recorded for the last album, but they re-recorded it. It's like the song progressively gets better and better and better. It has this pretty cool grooving riff at first, and I love the way that Tony Martin and Jeff Nichols and Iommi work together in this awesome way. And Cozy Pal's grooviness in here is really great too. This is like easily the most fun song of the album too, because it has just awesome, fun-loving vibe, and it sounds a lot like something that would be off the Eternal Idol. But the awesomeness of this song comes with the chorus. I see a black moon rise and it's calling my name. The way they craft the chorus together, every member, makes this song so well done that they can never ever recreate how good it sounds. The groove, the power of all the vocals together, and the keyboard work, the riff work, it is great. And the guitar solo is fucking awesome too, and it brings a lot more life to this album too. So I give Black Moon at 5 out of 5, another amazing song. Please check it out. And we have another really cool song. It's incredibly well crafted and well written. The last song, Nightwing. This song's very weird. I'm not sure if it's about Nightwing from like Batman. I'm pretty sure it's not. I think it just means like Satan or something. It's very much a fusion of melodic singing and guitar playing in the verse sections, and then it goes into the doominess of the fucking chorus. Tony Martin lets out these dark, shrill, fucking bloody murder screams during the chorus. I love the way he says Nightwing flies again, and the melodic guitar solo from Iommi is one of his most memorable guitar solos of all time, in my opinion. It's just so well written. This whole song takes its time, and it takes its time well. Awesome ending track that feels like the perfect ending to an album like this. 5 out of 5 again. The musicianship is at its peak on this song, especially the singing. And there is a bonus track called Cloak and Dagger, which I'm not a big fan of. It definitely does not fit on this album. It sounds kind of cheesy. The riff's too generic. I'm not a big fan of it at all. I give it a 3 out of 5. It's not that good. I don't know sometimes what I like more, this or Eternal Idol, but I definitely will say, if anything, it's always a point above or a point below Eternal Idol. At the moment, it's a point below, but damn, it's almost as good.